Hello everyone, today I want to compare the patch 3.4 limited banner characters Alhaitham, Xiao, Hu and Yelan in terms of anything combat related. While listening you will also get a quick impression of their gameplay to see if they fit your preference. To start us off, there will be a short rundown of each character individually, and at the end I'll give you my opinion on which ones to prioritize. First, Alhaitham. This one is a classic main DPS or carry, meaning he will deal most damage while on field. In terms of gameplay, I read a lot of comparisons to Keqing. He will have nice consistent damage with his elemental skill creating up to 3 mirrors which proc extra damage when Alhaitham does his Dendro-infused normal attacks. Each mirror will also increase the amount of hits done by the elemental burst skill. To me, this kind of interaction sounds exactly like Yai Miko. So if you like this concept, you will also like playing Alhaitham. In terms of teams, he will have a lot of Dendro application from normal attacks while simultaneously triggering the elemental skill. So you can do a lot of spread damage by slotting in any electro sub DPS like Fischl, Beidou, etc. and finish the comp with some utility characters like Zhongli and a second Dendro character for the Deepwood memory set. You can also create a bunch of Dendro pods to enable Hyperbloom or Burgeon teams with again an Electro sub DPS or a Pyro sub DPS like Toma. And obviously you also will need a Hydro character like Xiao or Kokomi. As for the build, since his damage is pretty much equally spread throughout his entire skill kit, I just suggest some raw stats with a weapon like the Iron Sting and Gilded Dreams set for artifacts. For the reruns, I speed it up a little. Next, Xiao, another main DPS who pretty much only does plunging attacks with his enhanced jump height. For this, he is super dependent on his elemental burst skill. If you don't have it up, he pretty much does nothing. Xiao definitely does good consistent AoE damage thanks to the big effect area of his plunges. If you have multiple targets to hit, he feels very nice to use, though against a single boss, he feels equally horrible in my opinion. The usual team is with a second anemo character as a battery, like Jean for example, and Zhongli plus Albedo. Next, Hu Tao, yet another main DPS, though this one is dependent on her elemental skill to deal damage, so it's way less restricting. She mainly wants to do charge attacks, so stamina management is key to play her effectively, unless you have Constellation 1, which completely trivializes this and makes her super easy to play. Her charge attacks are basically a short dash forward, so Hu Tao isn't great at dealing with bigger groups, but she is amazing at killing bosses, so kind of the opposite of Xiao, usually played in a Jingshou Vaporized team. Last we have Yelan. This one is a sub DPS, meaning this character wants to deal damage while she's off field. This character is basically Jingshou but better, more damage on the burst skill, and while it's active, your active field character gets another damage multiplier which goes up to 50%. Yes, you heard that correctly. She also has great mobility and damage on her elemental skill. In terms of teams, basically anything that has a character doing some normal attacks works, like Hu Tao, but also Raiden and even Ayato teams with the new Hydro Resonance. Alright, that covers all the characters, and if you want my recommendation, Yelan seems like an easy winner this patch. To be honest, I'm not super in touch with what the general consensus is on her, but I think she's one of the best characters in the game. There's only one very minor issue I have with her, and that is she is super energy hungry, though Constellation 1 mitigates that fact a little in case you want to go for that. Also, I think Jingshou was power crept by Yelan, but to be fair, one thing he has on her is better Hydro application, with the extra rain swords around your active character. Though in most cases it really doesn't matter all that much in my opinion, so it's whatever. Next we have Alhaitham. He honestly looks really great to me. Dendro reactions are really strong and offer a variety of different gameplay. I'm also a fan of infusion skills on the elemental skill as opposed to the burst skill, and the interactions between his skills is really interesting. His high Dendro application make him great for Nido teams too, in case you have her. The only thing is, his base stats look a little low for a 5-star character, so it might be hard to get stats on him, especially with his burst skill being kind of expensive, so you might want energy recharge as well. Next we have Hu Tao. She is considered one of the best pyro characters in general, only falling short to Zhang Ling. There are some issues with her, which make it a little awkward though. One being that you have no good way to enable anemo characters without a second pyro character in your team. And another one is her passive skill, which grants her extra damage below 50% HP. In other words, she has anti-synergy with healing. So you have to run DPS Bennett or something to heal less, or just resort to shield characters like Zhongli. Not a deal breaker, but still an inconvenience. Last we have Xiao. I know he's loved by a lot of people, and I already had some heated discussions in my comment sections about him because I don't really make it a secret that I absolutely despise the design of his skill kit. Unfortunately, the devs decided that his elemental skill creates no energy at all as long as his burst skill is active. It has to be an intentional design choice, so it's not gonna change, but it's so bad that I would have thought it's a bug if I didn't know better. For a character who's this dependent on his burst skill, it just doesn't make any sense, and it just ruins this character for me. There you have it, it's Yelan as borderline must pull over Alhaitham, over Hu Tao, who I would especially recommend you to try out in the trial first to see if you like the gameplay. Her movement is a little unique. And then Xiao, sorry, he is an easy skip to me, especially after Scaramouche or the Wanderer, who competes in the same slot and has his own problems, but he feels so much better than Xiao in my opinion. Alright, we made it to the end. I hope this helped you decide on which banner to wish. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, stay tuned for more videos. Until then, have fun and bye bye.